Okay, I'm going to be biasing the 8080DB. I'm down to my last few pieces. I don't mess with this one much, and anybody who knows this line of receiver, number one, they're excellent performers. But the DB has this Dolby board. I actually have the original hang tag. When I bought this, I got it from what was, I believe, was a third owner. And I opened it for the first time tonight, and it really looks pristine. These are all original bulbs. It's bright, it's powerful, and I really don't expect the biasing and DC offset or whatever to be much off. So we'll see what it comes up with. But boy, this is a great receiver. It's from like 1975. It's 80 watts per channel. Supports 3 sets of speakers. Really has the great classic Sansui look. And for those who have like the 661, 771, 881 series, it's like the same dial, but it's in blue versus green. And I really love the power meters because it bounces. If you're like me, you're fascinated with anything that makes noise, lights up, that type of thing. So we're going to open this up and let's go ahead and bias this, and we'll see how off it is. But it is a solid performer right now, so we're just doing this to bring it up to spec. All right, we're going to do what's called like the DC offset, and this should be at 0 volts. I have my voltmeter set to the millivolt range, and here is the left channel. It's bouncing around 30 millivolts, so it's off. You know, this does affect performance. But before I do that, let me mention this is extremely clean. I have deoxited all the controls and stuff. Power board looks to be very, very good. All the components here, so I don't think this has a lot of hours. That's why I said it had the original bulbs and everything. And here's some Deoxit. We're going to spray a little right there and right there at the transistors. And we're going to go ahead and adjust the one on the left to be at 0. Okay, here we go. We're going to put the screwdriver in. And let's look at this here. We're going to start real slow. Wow, it's sensitive. Look at that. So it's like you can barely touch this thing. We got it down. We're going to get this now to 0. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to go much further. This is as close to 0 as we're going to get. So that's the left DC offset. So this was significantly higher than it should have been. We're going to go ahead and do the other channel now next. Right channel is at about 20. It's bouncing between like 16 and 21. So let's go ahead and put this in here. And let's get this down to 0. And again, all it takes is just a little push. Okay, that's going the opposite direction. So let's try this. I guess we're now at 0. All right, now it's bouncing at around 1 to 6. This has a sample rate. I'm going to leave it at this, I think. I'm not going to go much further. Maybe I will experiment and see if I can get this a little lower. What the heck, it can't hurt. But let me go ahead and adjust this. So it was off just a little. There we go. Well, you know what? It's never going to be perfect, but if we could show improvement, that's important. I think this was at 16 to 20 or 18 to 20. We're now down to like 5 to 10. I may take one more look, but that's close enough for me. Now the next setting or change will be for the bias itself. So I have my voltmeter set to amps and at the 200 milliamp range. We're at 25, and I had to use some alligator clips, and you got to be careful that you don't short anything out. So you have to remove a fuse and put the voltmeter in there. So let's go ahead and let's do the adjustment here. So left channel is VR03. Let me spray a little in both of these here. Okay. This should be now at 30. Oh, okay. You know what? We're at 25. We're actually a little bit under where it should be. So a little bit under. Let's go ahead and get this at 30. Oh my gosh, we're like spot on. So just a couple millivolts off, which means this was actually probably putting out a little bit less power than it should have. Let me go ahead and stop here. I'm going to switch the fuse and we'll do the next one. All right, we have the fuse out for the left channel and we're significantly higher. We're like double. And according to the manual, we should be 30 milliamps plus or 1, so like 29 to 31. Let's go ahead and adjust this now down. All it takes is just a little bit, like these potentiometers, and I know they're old, but all it takes is a little bit of movement for them to adjust. So right now, we've got this down to about 30. It was double. So I'm guessing the left channel was running hotter. The right channel was just a little weaker. So now we're balanced from a DC offset as well as a bias. We are good. So let me go ahead and take all these wires out. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and then we'll be cranking this tonight. But this has already been on for about a half hour. So, and I've been playing it. So all the components here have warmed up to the point where I feel comfortable that this is going to stick, at least when it's warmed up. If you're going to redo the bias or adjust anything, always do it to a receiver that's been on a little bit, because that's going to be its native state. When it turns on from being cold, you may get all sorts of strange readings, and that's because capacitors are old and resistors are warming up and transformer coils are getting warm. But anyways, I'm confident this is good, and I was not sure what to expect, but yeah, this needed adjustment on all of the 4 factory settings. After biasing, it sounds great. Sounds really, really good.